It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Wilde Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Brownie Huntress. It's a export chocolate fudge brownie stout. 7.4% ABV. Looks, sounds brilliant. I like the can design. I like the sound of the beer. It's 7.4% ABV in a 440ml can. I picked this up whilst I was up in Leeds in a local Morrisons. This is available in 170 Morrisons stores throughout the UK. The reason why I was up in Leeds and the reason why I picked this up is because I can't get it down in South Wales where I live. The only place I could have found this was up in, well, a good bet. I was up in Leeds. Morrisons are kind of from that area, so I thought to myself, pop in Morrisons in Leeds, you're bound to find the beer. You're bound to find it. And I found it, Brownie Huntress. I remember they put an Mozza Beers, I think they called on Instagram. They put a post out a while ago on this. Maybe only a month ago. And it sounded super. This sounded super. Raced down Morrisons in Barry. They didn't have it. They didn't have it. Did I mention I paid £4 for this can of beer? If I didn't mention before, I'm mentioning it now. So beer in the glass. We got a one finger tan coloured head. It's more or less a jet black beer in the glass. It's kind of got that appeal to me. That look of a Imperial Brown Ale. Imperial Brown Ale, although it is looking jet black, it is looking kind of Imperial Stout like. But the only reason why I'm not calling it an Imperial Stout at this point is because for me, as I was pouring it, it just looked a little bit thin. A little bit thin for an Imperial Stout. So Imperial Brown Ale, strong brown ale, yeah, that certainly kind of rings true. That kind of gives me a better what this beer probably is an Imperial Brown Ale. Slow moving carbonation. I'm picking up a big nuttiness as I've got this beer kind of semi-half to my nose. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. Let's dive in and get this aroma then. Ho 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 ho! And that smells fabulous. Really do. Chocolate brownie with hazelnut. Chocolate fudge brownie stout. Wow, I'm picking up a nuttiness here. Chocolate brownie fudge nuttiness. That smells beautiful. It really does. One of those beers. I mean, I'm actually reviewing this on Halloween, the night of Halloween, 31st of October, 2021. It's a bit chilly on the old shoulders. I'm in a t-shirt. I could quite easily go and light the fire and sit with this in front of the fire. It's one of those beers. It really is. It smells beautiful. Little bit of kind of cocoa, chocolate cocoa going on. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh yeah. I like that. I like this. I did a review of one of the Wilde beers in Morrisons, and I wasn't a fan of it. I really didn't like it at all. But this is beautiful. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It is thin. It's more or less drinking more or less without the dryness. It's drinking like an Irish stout without the. Normally you call them dry Irish stouts, where they're more on the thin side, more kind of refreshing. Drop the dryness from it, and this is drinking there like a dry Irish stout. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. I could also say mild. I could also say definitely like imperial mild. There's so much going on. it tastes like almost like a hot chocolate, almost like a cold, one of those, what do they call it? I've never had one in my life. You buy the cans in the supermarket, Starbucks and Costa. They're like frappes or whatever they call them, like cold coffees in a can. You get different flavours. You probably find a fudge and chocolate flavour, but it's got that very similar look, taste and feel to it. They call them fraps. I don't know, iced mochas or something along those lines. You see them in cans. It's got that feel to it. If you're a fan of that style of indulgent cold canned coffee with chocolate in it, maybe a touch of fudge, but you fancied it being a bit naughty, a little bit of alcohol in there. What do we say? 7.4% ABV. You know, it's got a bit of bite to it, this has. Then look no further than this. Look no further. But it is £4 a can. It is £4 a can. Is it worth £4 a can? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. It's got a lovely roundedness to it. It's not hissy and fizzy. Sometimes if you get a thin stout like this, sometimes the carbonation can be like too much and it's hissing and fizzing and it's like, not only are you battling with a thin stout, but you're battling with a thin, highly carbonated stout. They normally marry together. It's a mistake by the brewer. It's really thin and over-carbonated. And they can be drain pours. They can be complete drain pours. But this has got beautiful carbonation to it. And you actually don't mind it being quite refreshing. If you rock the beer back and forth, you can see that carbonation. I'm rolling the beer around in the glass. There you go. You can see that beautiful, beautiful looking liquid in the glass. I'm going to rate this. First of all, I'm going to read what they have to say. We're proud to bring you the next instalment in the Brownie Hunter series. This export strength stout has even more mouthfeel and flavour than its lower percentage counterpart. I mean, so they've called it a stout on the side of the glass. It's a stout on the front of the glass as well. Even more mouthfeel. I've been talking about how thin this beer is, so yeah, I'll take that with a pinch of salt. Chocolate fudge brownie on the nose and hitting you hard on the palate until the very last drop will be sure to please you sweet treat lovers. That's a good point. I suppose if you've got a really sweet tooth, you're going to love this beer. I like this beer. It's not overly sweet. I don't think that where they're talking about having a bigger mouthfeel, it doesn't really have much of a mouthfeel at all, to be honest with you. I'm going to stick with my notion that this is an imperial mild, not an export stout. I definitely think it's more mildy, more kind of like too drinkable, way too drinkable to be a big fat bold imperial stout. But that's not taking anything away from the flavour of the beer. I've actually really enjoyed this. So I'm going to rate it. If you've been drinking beer for years, then take what they've written on the side of the can with a bit of salt. Take it with a bit of salt. It's a thinnish mild, but it's a beautifully tasting thinnish mild. It's chocolatey. It's nutty, it's biscuity, there's that little bit of fudge that they're talking about. It's a lovely beer, so I'm going to rate it. I like it enough to give it, for that £4 price point, If I could find that in my local Morrisons, I'd be buying that all the time. It's a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. It's a cracking beer. I just think the brewery needs to just change up the wording on the can a little bit. Maybe call it an Imperial Mild. There's nothing wrong with milds. There really aren't. But it's definitely not an export stout, I don't think. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.